Well, wounded warriors gave up everything for their country and then refused to give up on life. Some 50,000 Ukrainians have lost their limbs in battle since 2022. Well, today they're walking, working, back to serving their nation. George Thomas has their inspiring stories from Kyiv.
For 23-year-old Ukrainian soldier Vladyslav Chub, the journey back to life began with love.
The first thing I thought about was Diana, because if something happens to me, I didn't know how she would live through it.
March 9th, 2024. It's roughly 9 in the evening. Vlad and a fellow soldier are serving in Bakhmut, eastern Ukraine, when suddenly the Russians launch a 82mm mortar at their position.
It exploded in front of me. I fell back. There was a sharp pain below my waist. I looked down and understood the extent of my injuries.
And in the process, Vlad loses both his legs.
It's a miracle he's alive. When the mortar exploded, the shrapnel scattered all over the ground and only hit his legs and didn't hit his torso or his head.
His future looked uncertain, but Diana never wavered. She visited him in the hospital each day, fed him, cared for him, prayed over him.
He's the love of my life, and I cannot imagine my life without him. If had to choose between two evils, it's better him being alive and losing both limbs than him dead, and I'm left without him.
By May, they were married. After months of grueling rehab, Vlad took his first steps on prosthetic legs.
It was not my time to die. I still have a mission that I need to fulfill in this world.
All made possible by Protez Foundation, a Ukrainian Christian-led organization co-founded by Yura Arozhedze.
Dr. Yakov, my co-founder, and I are believers who share Christian values. When the war began, we sought ways to help, and we felt God place it on our hearts to serve by providing prostheses.
Since 2022, the foundation has helped more than 1,000 Ukrainian service members regain mobility. Inside the Protez Foundation's facility, medical director Ilya Ivanets guides us through the complex stages of crafting a prosthesis, from molding to fitting to the training every patient must undergo.
The main objective of our center is to help patients transition from lying in bed or using a wheelchair to using a prosthesis as quickly as possible so they can regain independence and feel a renewed sense of dignity.
Each story, while devastating, also inspiring, such as 27-year-old Ukrainian soldier Rudyakov Stanislav.
I started to set up the electric detonator and engage the munitions.
On November 5th, 2024, in Ukraine's Sumy region, near the Russian border, while preparing to launch a drone, he came under fire.
The blast wave triggered the FPV drone and it exploded.
The explosion took both of his eyes and his hand.
It was psychologically difficult, and then I realized that I needed to move on and keep going because life doesn't end.
At Protez, Stanislav is learning to rebuild his world, literally by touch. A mechanical arm is being fitted for him, and specialists are training him to navigate life without sight. The foundation's mission extends beyond service members. In Ukraine's Kherson region, 15-year-old Victoria Zanitsprana lost her arm when a missile struck her home. Now, thanks to Protez, she's learning to lift objects with her new robotic arm. A small movement that means the world to her and her family. Non-profit groups like Protez estimates that close to about 50,000 Ukrainians have lost limbs since Russia's invasion of this country back in 2022. And what they are doing here is absolutely essential, giving men like this gentleman a chance at a new life.
These are push-ups that strengthen his muscles so he can support himself when standing up. It's easier for him because he used to play sports and train regularly, so physical exercises come more naturally to him.
Occupational therapist Bonda Rostislav is preparing Denis Ivashenko for his trip to the United States, where he'll receive custom-made prosthetics due to the severity of his injuries. Ivashenko survived a direct Russian mortar strike in August while serving in the Sumy region. The shell landed in his trench. The soldier beside him died instantly. Like all recipients, Ivashenko's travel and prosthetics are fully covered by the foundation. Once he returns, he says God is calling him to serve others who've been wounded in battle.
God wants me to minister to people who have gone through similar difficult situations in their lives and to be someone who can support them.
And today, Vladislav is not just walking again, he's back in the fight, conducting covert missions deep inside Russian-occupied territory.
The war hasn't ended yet, so we need to keep fighting. And that's the highest motivation to continue living and to do everything possible to bring peace back to Ukraine.
For Diana, the relief and gratitude are immeasurable. Thankful that, despite everything, her beloved survived.
At first, I was asking why he lost his legs, but later I realized it's a blessing that it's only his legs. Legs are just a means of getting around. Thankfully, he still has his arms, he can feel, his eyesight is intact, and he will eventually be able to see our children and hear their voices. I'm truly thankful to God for that.
George Thomas, CBN News, Kyiv, Ukraine.
That's a story you're unlikely to see anywhere else, but that's the sheer cost of this war. When you look at the numbers, we just showed you a few, but there are 50,000 Ukrainians who have that kind of injury. War is just absolutely horrible. And for that to be launched and civilians to be specifically targeted, for the Russians to kidnap their children and take them away, to rape the women as part of a tactic of war, absolutely horrible. And I pray the entire, what we used to call Western civilization, would stand up to this horror and say, not on our watch, you don't get to do it. You don't get to pretend that somehow or other Ukrainians are fascists and Nazis, and that justifies this kind of damage that you're inflicting on people. Let's continue to pray for Ukraine, continue to pray for peace there. Pray that the Russian people come to their senses and realize what they're doing and stop it, and stop it soon. If you want more information about the wonderful nonprofits doing that amazing work, all you have to do is go to cbnnews.com. You are about to make a difference around the world through your partnership with CBN. Your donation will provide relief to people going through unimaginable disasters.
There are tens of millions of children who are desperate for hope. You'll be the reason children across 80 countries can rewrite their future.
CBN refuses to look past the ones who have been forgotten, and your commitment ensures we never will.
Our ultimate goal is to achieve a time in history when the knowledge of the Lord will cover the earth as the waters cover the sea. Right now, CBN reaches nearly 200 countries with the gospel in their own language and dialects, and we offer prayer support to anyone at any hour of the day.
You are about to unleash God's kingdom across the earth.